Welcome back, everyone. We're cutting some more beans today. It is October the 3rd. Finally going to have a good week, I believe. We weren't able to, today is Thursday. We weren't able to cut Monday or Tuesday. We tried Tuesday evening at like 5 o'clock, and their beans are still going about 15.5%. So, as those of you who know, that is too wet for beans because we get docked, a shrink, if you will, because the elevator allows for the moisture to come out of that, and then so there's 3% moisture coming out of that, so you basically losing essentially 3% of your weight, and then you get paid on weight. But finally getting going today. Couldn't start today till about 11:30 just because it's been so wet in the mornings, but we should be able to stay on a pretty good roll. We're on Luke's 40 acres now. As you can see, there's both combines and the shops right there. So we're going to do this, and then unfortunately we got to hit 3 patches on the way into town. One's right across the road, one's just up the road, and one's there in town, and then we're going to go on over to Raritan and start on over there. We got one cart and a pickup truck moved over there this morning while we were waiting for the beans to dry down a little bit, which is good, so that'll save on some time. But doing those patches will probably lose us an hour total, but it is what it is. So we've got quite a few beans to choose from over there. I think we're basically just going to start from our farthest west and move back east, and then once we get back east a ways, Luke does have some seed beans to cut that'll have to go in the bin. But other than that, hopefully we can stay right on it. I wouldn't say we're nervous yet, but being October 3rd and they're really just now able to really hammer down because of the weather, puts a little pep in our step. If it continues to be really, really wet in the mornings, we might do what we've done before and bring the corn head over and shell some corn for a couple hours in the morning, and then switch back to beans. Luckily, it doesn't take too long to switch these combines over, about less than 10 minutes. So that might be something we got to do, be able to keep going on some things, get things rolling. We did test out one of our tillage tools this morning, kind of get it set. Didn't really mess with it too much, just wanted to see what it was going to do. We have a little bit of tinkering to do it, and then it'll be ready to go, and then maybe tomorrow morning we'll get our other tillage tool set up. We've got 3. The one we were on this morning was a disc ripper. We've got a turbo till and a disc, and so we'll either get the turbo till or the disc hooked onto the other tractor and see how that's going to go. I did kind of goof up this morning. We were doing some maintenance, fueling up the combines, putting DEF in, blowing out the air filters. We also replaced a part on the bean head, and I was going to bring you guys along, but I got sidetracked, and before I knew it, I was done. I do apologize for that, but maybe in the next one. The piece we had to replace on the bean head was right in the middle of it. It's a wear part, so it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Right into the middle, there's a big flap underneath there. That's a poly skid, if you will, and it protects the center belt. So that had worn a small hole on it on Dad's combine. So we got that replaced, though. It only took about 20 minutes, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but still could have shown you guys, but that's all right. Beans sound like they're cutting a little bit tough, and we're only going about 3.4, so a little bit green, but that's all right. We'd rather cut a little bit tougher beans and have a bit higher moisture than have too dry beans. So we were cutting some yesterday, and we were able to go about 4.5, which was good, and they were testing about 12.5, which is about perfect. So that was really good. We were able to get a lot covered yesterday, but hopefully once we get these patches knocked out, we can keep on going pretty late tonight, because where I think we're heading next So we're by Fairgrange, and we're literally, the field is right next to the elevator, so be able to stay caught up well. This 40 right here is, I like to call it Luke's baby. He really tries his best, really crunches his numbers, uses the best products, dumps the fertilizer to it. I shouldn't say dumps it, but puts quite a bit of fertilizer on to really try and get the highest yield possible out of it. This is like his plot, if you will. He's shooting for 90 bushel beans this year, which I think he should be able to get no problem. Right as we got started, Dad was running up through the middle of it, and it was running high 90s and touching 100 a few times, so that'll be really good. But I think, when was it? I don't think it was 2 years ago, would have been 4 years ago, I think it was. This field made like 89 and a half or something, which is really, really good for beans. It's what we strive for. So we had some beans the other day that we weren't too particularly pleased with, but you can't always have the best, so even that's what we try for. So it'd be interesting to see what this makes. Probably about half done with it now, a little better, and probably get these tickets added up, and I'll let you guys know. But should be good. Well, this is definitely not where I expected this next clip to be. We got a little sidetracked yesterday. Well, I shouldn't say sidetracked. Things just are always changing, per usual. Like I said, we were doing that 40 with Luke's, got done with it, had to stop the tractor, get in the truck, pull the header cart around, and swap people back and forth through those 3 patches we had. And then we ended up moving across the river like we planned and getting started there at Fairgrange, right next to the elevator. And we never came back for the tractor, so that's where the camera sat. That was my fault for not grabbing it. I was thinking we were going to come right back after it, but it is what it is. So we got the disc hooked up this morning, got it all set. As you can see, started on some corn stalks here. We do have the turbo till that we normally do corn stalks with, but this past spring we had some disc corn stalks that we worked up, and it is actually the ground that worked up the best. So we're probably going to do about 50-50 corn stalks worked with turbo and then disc, and then obviously we'll have a little bit of disc ripped, but we're still kind of experimenting with some things just to see what works out best. So I'm going to probably be able to do most of this field before I need to go back to the combines. Dad, Luke, and Gothard are there now during the morning maintenance, and it'll probably be another, I don't know, hour before we can get started, just because of the moisture. So might as well get some stuff done while we can, while we're waiting around. We actually also got our disc ripper moved down to the 125 acres we got just north of Ashmore, that bean stubble. I mean, it's going to get disc ripped because it's been at least 3 or 4 years since it's been ripped. We like to try to do rip our acres at least every 3rd year. Where every acre gets ripped every 3rd year, I should say. So that tractor will sit there probably most of the afternoon, and then my dad's cousin is planning on coming and starting on that. He won't get that done today because it takes forever to rip, but at least we'll get a nice head start on it. So he'll get done on that, and then once we get that ripped, I'm not sure if we'll send that thing anywhere else, or he might hop in this tractor and this disc, and we got quite a bit of bean stubble that can get worked down with this, which will be good. So he's doing a pretty good job. Doesn't cover as well as a disc ripper, you know, just because the ripper really brings up the big chunks and gets chopped up, and then the disc ripper's got bigger blades on it. This has got 24-inch blades, and a disc ripper has got 26-inch blades, so that really turns it over. But this still does a really nice job, and like I said, come springtime it seems to work out really, really well. So see how the rest of this goes, and then I'm sure I'll be heading back down to the combines here after a bit. Just as I was getting ready to finish that field, I was about a round from the point rows. Dad called me saying that there was a cow that was getting ready to have a calf, and it was having some difficulties. Had been for a little while. So I shut the tractor down, parked it in the shed, because I didn't know if I could be back. Went to help out with the cow, pulled the calf, which was needed because the calf was backwards, and the mother wasn't doing much pushing. So got that done, and then right as we were getting cleaned up, it started to rain. As you can see, it's decently cloudy out. It's starting to break up just a little bit right there, but rained a little bit in town, and down by Fairgrange where we are farming, it rained more. So Luke and Jonathan came back, discussed a few things. I came back down here to the shop to finish this field. We might end up taking the corn head down to Fairgrange now because it rained just enough that it's probably going to keep us out of the field for probably at least another 2 hours, maybe an hour if we're lucky. It is a little breezy. So honestly, by the time we got the corn head down there, maybe about ready to start cutting again, but I don't know. They're Luke and Jonathan are headed back down there, and I think Dad's going to wait around to see what they say, and if he needs to get the corn head or not. If not, they're going to go down there and tinker on Luke's bean head a little bit, and then just wait around, I guess. Just one thing after another. So I'm going to eat my lunch real quick, and then finish up this field, and then probably head back over there to Fairgrange. Didn't stay cloudy for long. Luckily, the sun's pretty hot today, and we've got a nice breeze, so we'll start right back up basically cutting beans. I told you earlier it'd be about an hour. That's about what it was, so that's good. Didn't have to wait any longer than need be. So there's the elevator there, obviously. There's one field, and the other one's right over there where the combine is. You can see Luke's combine. He's having a few troubles with his bean head. It's macked on flex draper for those of you who know what those are. And at the pivot point, or one of the pivot points, it had a couple of bushings go out. So basically it is locked, which is not good for being able to flex. So it was kind of basically flexed the wrong direction and pushing up some dirt, making it get all piled up and get on top of the cutter bar and everything, which is not good. So the local Berkey's doesn't have anything in stock, but there's a place about an hour south of here that's got some in stock. So Luke might have to drive down there this afternoon or first thing in the morning, pick him up. So unfortunately we're down to one combine, but one combine's better than no combine. It's one nice thing about having two for sure. There was plenty of times when we were only running one where we were set still because of something like this, but that's farming for you. It is what it is. So I'm just weighing on here, getting ready to go dump, and then literally right off the entrance to the elevator, I just hop across the highway, and there we are. So it will stay caught up with one truck, obviously with one combine going, but with two combines, they will stay caught up with one truck too, so that makes it really, really nice. And unlike ADM, you don't have to get out of your truck. And this is a fairly, well, it's not real busy yet, but it gets busy, but this elevator doesn't get used by a whole lot of people, so they just open you right up, get into your truck in about, I don't know, 15 seconds. Makes it real nice. It'll get busy though. They did add another pit last year and another big bin this year, so, and they did just used to have one scale, now they got two scales, outbound and inbound, so that'll really speed things up when it gets busy. And now I wait. Probably gonna go sit on the tailgate in the shade over there and take a nap. No, it won't take too long to get filled up. Back to like how we used to be, you'd bring a book or something, because you know, you'd sit on the end for a while or whatnot, but I don't know, actually, depending on if Luke gets those parts this evening or when he does, might go back to working ground, because we don't need 4 of us, since this is just now a 3-man job. I wish it was at least cool out. No, it's like 78 degrees. Feels hot, but it's really not, but it's supposed to be like 80 tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's supposed to be like 85, which is ridiculous. Cool back off next week, and then next weekend it's supposed to be like 85 again for middle October. This will be like 45 degrees already. Well, I'll see you guys after a bit. Well, good news. We are actually able to get Luke's combine or bean head up and running. He got a hold of a service tech and gave me a few pointers what we could do to at least get through today and maybe run for a little while longer. Kind of jerry-rig some things. But so we got both combines going now. We've got one little 6-acre strip right next to Fairgrounds. You can see there's the elevator there. Dad got the big field done, so we'll be moving on now. Jonathan and Dad are hooking up bean head, or setting the bean head off on the header trailer. Luke will get this 6 acres cut and on this truck, and then I'll get it dumped and then get moved everything else down to the field. So I'm really glad that he got that going. We can hopefully get some acres knocked out this afternoon and not have to worry about fixing it tonight or in the morning, so that's always good. And I think where we're going next is 120 acres, and so we'll be able to hopefully move right along in that. Yep, there goes Dad now. After the late start this morning because of the rain and then a little bit of trouble with Luke's bean head, feels good to be up and rolling again and rolling quite smoothly. Like I said earlier, about 120 acres here, 60 on this side of the road, 60 on that side of the road. So we should be able to get enough of this done that we can fit the remainder on the 2 semis and the 2 auger carts after the elevator closes, which would be really nice. Then we can get those dumped in the morning and then get moved on to the next field. From here, got a few different options. Luke's got like 200 acres of seed beans. That's part of a 250 acre field, so if we get in that one, that'd be a good one. Or if not, there's a 75 acres and then an 80 that we could also go to. I'm thinking we're probably going to go to either the 75 or the 80 because he doesn't want to cut those seed beans when it's this hot out. Get really dry. It's not good, so might be doing the other stuff, which will be fine. It's all got to get done anyway. So drop that truck off here on this side of the house. Walking down to this truck, it should be about full, and taking the next one. One thing about one driver, 2 trucks, you get a little bit of exercise. That's always good. One thing I am going to have to work on is down here, that pedal right there. That's for the steering wheel tilt, and I was on my last load last night. I went to tilt the steering wheel up, and boom, pedal went to the floor. Crap. So I got to look in, and the cable broke, unfortunately. So now we have no steering wheel tilt, but luckily it's in the driving position, so we can manage with that. But I think we just need to get a cable crimper, and I think that'll hopefully fix our problem. Either have to go buy one at the hardware store, or Dad might have one that will work for his electric fence for the cows. I think he said he's got some, so it's about the same size as electric fence wire, which is good. So I'll have to give that a shot maybe tomorrow morning and get this truck back up and going, because tilt is very nice. Still rolling along. I don't think, well actually I know, the rest of this is not going to fit on the trucks and grain carts, unfortunately, but that was the kind of decision we made. We decided to stop and eat supper because there's a nice supper. Fried chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes, gravy, cookies. Very nice. And we also decided to visit with the landowners a little bit, so that's always good. But we'll be able to get 40, 45 acres of this done, I'd say. And then we'll just have about 10 acres left to do in the morning, which is no big deal. So we're in a little 3/4 piece right here. It's just a couple acres. There's a drainage ditch that goes through the corner of one of these. So I'm just sitting here in the field in the truck, and they're dumping on it because the roads are so short. Didn't really make much sense for a grain cart. Then hopefully that'll get this full, and then I will take it up to the house and grab the big grain cart. Looks like Luke's going a little slow right there. He had to change the sickle section. I don't know if he's still dragging up or what, but take this up to the house when we get it full, and then grab the one grain cart, fill it, Then I can fill the truck, get that grain cart full, and then walk down the road a ways and get the other grain cart. So we're gonna be here for a little bit, but at least we're getting something done. Well, it's gonna be all she wrote for the evening. Got everything done that we wanted to, so just getting everything parked now. Got the semi there. Gonna move this cart, pull up the other semi, pull that cart up there by all the other stuff out in the field. Go home, take a shower, go to bed. So that's gonna be it for this video. I do appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you at the next one.